Hi, everyone. Michael Sandler here, your host, Inspire Nation. Thank you so much for joining us here this evening. Usually I have Jessica right by my side. She is actually in Vail, Colorado right now. And in fact, I have moved around my coaching clients so that the minute that I finish here, I will be in Tessie, the Bumblebee rocket ship, rocketing out kind, gentle, easy, good to go pick her up. So first off, I just want to see in the chat window, I have set up things differently a little bit here this evening because I don't have Jessica with me. So I want to make sure that we do have sound good. So if you are hearing me, please let me know in the chat window. So thank you, everybody, for joining us here this evening. Before we dive right into things, just a little bit of housekeeping, which is we still have a few spots open for coaching this spring. So if you're interested in coaching, I have very, very few spots left. Feel free to sign up for a free one-on-one strategy session with me. And to do that, I believe Jessica will be putting it in the chat box. She's running it again from Vail, Colorado. I'm in Aspen, so we've got the mountains covered here. I guess we need to get Steamboat Springs as well, but we got a good basis for Colorado. It is inspirenationshow.com/coaching. A little echo, but hear you fine. I'm not sure where the echo is coming from. But please, if anybody else hears a echo, let me know. Not sure what I can do, where that feedback would be coming from, but good that you can at least hear me. And I guess for future ones, if I do it with this setup, I can see about changing to a different microphone. All right, so let us dive in and let's talk about how we can lean into things. And I have the image of a ski resort behind us for a reason. And that is, we're going to talk a little bit, even though it's springtime here in at least the Northern Hemisphere, I want to talk a little bit about skiing and use some skiing analogies. So Jessica and I were out skiing in Vail a few days ago. And if you read our newsletter, you may have heard about this. We ended up at a very, very steep section, some black diamond or double black diamond runs. And we're both just getting back into skiing, or in her case, riding, snowboarding, after at least a decade hiatus. And skiing on the steeps is interesting. In fact, we're looking over the edge and it's near whiteout conditions, and it's beyond interesting because we can't see where we're going. Now, the natural tendency when you can't see where you're going is to back off, is to get back. In fact, I have one coaching client who is an amazing gold medalist in dressage, U.S. gold medalist in dressage. He knows that if you get back on your horse and have a bucking horse, you could be in trouble. The same goes for skiing. If you get back on your skis and you go down a steep slope, you could be in trouble too, because getting back, you get out of control. That's really what we're talking about here tonight. To take back the reins in your life, to take back control. We can't push things away. We actually have to lean into them. So going with the ski analogy, I had to lean forward on my skis, press into the hill, press into the slope to take control, to get myself on the edge of the skis so that I could control where I was going. It's very counterintuitive. When we experience pain, when we experience stress, anxiety, or in particular fear, we want to push it away and get back from it as far as possible. But not only what we resist persists, but it actually gives it room to rear its ugly head. If instead we face the challenges head on, we press forward into the mountain. Wait a second, I didn't fall. Instead, you have grip, you have bite, you have an edge. That's one of several examples I'm going to use tonight to talk about leaning into the challenges. The funny thing is, once your mind adjusts to the steepness of the slope, I guess you adjust your attitude and you adjust your altitude. Actually, technically, it'd be adjust your attitude and you're adjusting your attitude. But things start to feel flat because it's all relative. As you're leaning down, the horizon comes back up. You can see more clearly again. Now, one of my favorite sports habits is I go out 2 or 3 days a week, and through the fall and winter, I would run up a ski slope. I call it a mountain, up to the summit of a smaller mountain where you ski on. Smaller, I'll put that in quotes, of about 10 or 11,000 feet. And recently I got skinning equipment, which is skis that you put a moleskin bottom on these things so that they don't slide backwards. And you kind of cross-country ski up the hill, peel these things off, and then you ski down the hill. Well, today I had new poles. I'm so excited. I loved poles. I went with longer than what's recommended because I always have strange quirks and theories about how we can maximize performance. And with the long poles, for my first time using them, I flew up the hill. I shattered my personal record. However, oh my God, lifting, pull, pull. My sides, I had stitches running the whole way down my sides, which is why you hear me almost coughing on occasion here. Now, I am Mr. Kind, Gentle, Easy, Good. I love seeing what our body can do. We are spiritual beings having a human experience. And I want to see what I call meat suit can do. I love this body. You should love your body too. Absolutely, unequivocally, no matter what it is like, it is your spaceship. It is your vessel. I love this thing. And I want to see what it can do. Not about suffering, not about pushing through the pain, but what is it capable of? What can this thing do? And as I'm going up the hill, I'm getting all these stitches. Now I have a choice. I can slow down. Oh, heck no. I want to see what I can do. Besides, I have to get back for you guys. So I have a nice compressed workout. I finished an amazing interview with Lee Harris earlier today. I can't recommend this book enough, on Energy Speaks. And I got out to the slope and I'm running up it with everything I got. So I can either slow down, not happening, or I can try to say, I'm not in pain. I'm not in pain. I'm not in. The funny thing about this is universe doesn't recognize negatives. Sort of like the whole theory, don't think of a black cat. See what I mean? Universe only recognizes the words and the emotion. So when you say, don't think about the side stitches, that's all you're going to be thinking about. Instead, if you lean into the side stitches, so really it sounds a little masochistic this evening, but if you lean into the pain and you feel it, this is like a deep tissue massage. You feel, wow, I can feel all that pain there. First off, I'm a little bit nutty. I'm going to send it all the love I can. I send it love. I send it love. I send it love. But I am focusing on it rather than away from it. And as I do that, it begins to melt away to where when I finish the hill, I've completely forgotten that I was in pain. It wasn't until I came back down the hill, started up a second time, had a little extra time, wanted to see what my record is for vertical distance I could do in an hour. I haven't had a chance to look at my watch and see what it is yet. But it's only when I was going up the second time and I said, wait a second, I wasn't in pain the last time around. What happened? I went through it, I leaned into it, and I came out the other side. Now, I can't go into great detail here because I'm not sure too much what Jessica would like to share yet. But we did mention last week we had our second miscarriage, which I believe will help prepare us for something even more special in the future. With that said, we met with a pregnancy expert earlier today. And this required leaning into everything, bringing it back up. And everything isn't fully healed yet. I mean, I don't know if you ever fully heal, but Jessica's body still thinks it's pregnant right now. So we finished the session. And I don't believe Jessica was trying to fight away the emotions. I believe, and I'm trying to speak for her, it's not fair of me to do, but my guess is that she was leaning into the emotions. And she told me she was very emotional afterwards, and the tears were flowing freely. I believe that's actually a key. When the tears are flowing, and guys, I'm talking to you who thinks you can't cry, but women live longer than us for a couple key reasons. One, they've got emotional support. They're willing to share with other people. Two, they're willing to experience their emotions. This is so key. If we can experience our emotions and let the tears flow, it brings everything up and out and helps wash it away. This is a key. When we try to push our emotions away, we create a dam which builds up more and more pressure. And I think Jessica's off in the chat here talking about it's like filling a bathtub. When you try to push the emotions away, it's like you plugged the bathtub. You keep it running, and soon it's going to spill over. But instead, if we observe and let the emotions flow, breathe in, feel that, feel the emotion. Where am I feeling it? Is it a tightness in my chest? I can't breathe. Is it like somebody kicked me in the solar plexus? Is it like tension in my head or somebody grabbing me in the back of the neck? If you feel that and let the emotions flow, the tension starts to go way down. It's why I'm a huge fan of an exercise I mention quite frequently. I believe I mentioned it last week. The better out than in exercise. The better out than in exercise is where you take your journal, something that you don't mind taking pages out of, and you write all of your emotions down on it. All of the quote negativity, everything that's bothering you. Get it down on paper, then shred it and be done with it. Now, if there are no negative emotions coming up, negative in quotes, it's all information. I'll get to that in a minute. But if there are no, quote, negative emotions coming up, then there's no need to write it down. But if they are, don't resist them. Get them all out on paper. You can do this every morning. You can do this every evening before you go to sleep. If your boss has just chastised you, something terrible has taken place at work, heck, you can go into the lavatory, grab your journal with you, and you can write all of this stuff down and then shred it and be done with it. The nervous system and the subconscious do not know the difference between the written word and the actual emotion or event. The more that you write it down and shred it, I used to say burn it. We had a forest fire here last summer, so I don't say burn it anymore. But the more you shred it and be done with it, the better you will feel. It's also why it's such a brilliant idea to lay down and be with your emotions. Jessica is a professional napper. I believe she does this when napping. You can do this in the morning. You can do this in the evening. Almost any time. If you're working at Google, there are some nice little egg cubicle things you can go lay in, or cocoon things you can lay inside of. But imagine yourself surrounded by a bubble of love and light. And we're going to have a whole bunch of meditations on our website coming up shortly. And we're probably going to have I've been thinking about how we're going to work this. The vault is turning out to be challenging. So we're going to have some sort of a monthly subscription service. We're going to be giving you meditation after meditation along with all these other goodies. And this meditation you can do on your own even before we have a recorded version for you. Just imagine yourself surrounded by a bubble of love and light. And you can either call in angels or guides, or simply tap into your heart. I love massaging the heart, or tap into your inner wisdom and ask for assistance. And now, as you're laying there, bring up an emotion. So let's say that you feel that, oh, I've been kicked in my gut by this social circumstance. I feel like I've just been driven over by a truck. You bring up that emotion. You see yourself bathed in this light. The emotion comes up and it adds to the light, and it gets brighter and it gets brighter. And you bring the emotion up and bring the emotion up, and it gets brighter and brighter and brighter until at some point it starts to melt and go away. It has become pure light. Observe the quote negative experience, that feeling, that emotion. Make it brighter and brighter until you see it burn away. Then just lay with there, be with the experience for a few minutes. Notice how much bliss you feel surrounded by that love and light. For myself, I love hiking, getting out into the mountains with the quote negatives. I could do it as well running up a hill or with the skis. But those quote negatives not only seem better in the light of day, and that's a key. Everything seems better in the light of day. But when you're out in nature, when you're up on a hillside, when you're looking at water before you, when you're even by a stream or with your back up against a tree, everything seems smaller by comparison to nature's grandeur. Everything seems smaller. Nature helps put things in perspective. What we're really talking about is mindfulness here, being fully present to an experience. I like what my dad said recently. He's one of my heroes. My dad's my hero. My mom, in her own way, is my hero. And Jessica really is my ultimate hero. But what my dad said is, I'm not complaining, I'm explaining. That's what we get to do to ourselves. This isn't about ruminating, poor me, woe is me, oh, what's happening to me. But it's looking at what took place and really examining it from every angle. Then ask, is this real? What's the worst that could happen? Where did this come from? Is it mine? Maybe it's a worry, fear, or concern that's been gifted to me by somebody else or by society. And then what can I do about it? Breathe into it. Pray. Ask for guidance in helping it go away. I can't express this enough. If you're listening to me here, chances are I have not scared you away. So I'll share something with you. We are all surrounded by angels, guides, loved one, and spirit, or spirits, if you want to call it that. We couldn't be alone even if we tried. There's too much goodness all around us just waiting to help, waiting to jump in at a moment's notice. But they can't jump in until we ask for it, which means admitting that there's something that needs assistance. This is why you don't want to lean away from something, but you want to admit it. You want to lean into it. I need help. I need guidance. I need assistance. I probably got us in some real trouble in Maui years ago when I thought I knew exactly what was going on. Danger. I thought I knew exactly what I was doing, so I wasn't willing to observe it. Thinking about it now, I imagine if Jessica brought it up with me, I would get really upset. I know what we're doing. If you get really upset with that, rest assured there's a wound that gets to be addressed, and probably more truth to what somebody else said than you believe or than you are willing to admit. She would have pressed a button, but I wasn't willing to look at it at the time. Now I know if something comes up, if I get a rush of emotions, I actually get to look into that. What is the trigger? Often people think with the law of attraction, if I think about negative things, I will bring that about. And so we actually get this fear about the negative. And I've been putting in quotes all day. Why have I been putting the negative in quotes? Because there's no such thing as a negative unless you label it such. It's really just information, and information is energy. It's really important. It's just energy. It's fuel that we get to use. Secondly, by pushing it away, we give that quote negative fuel. Instead of blocking it, aka what you resist persists, that dam we were talking about earlier, you can take away its power by observing it in the light of day. Lastly, the only time it has power is when you stuff it, bottle it up, shake it like a volcano that's ready to explode. But if you take away its power by taking it out of the bottle, then what you are labeling as negative can actually be great guidance and steering. Keep this in mind. Everything seems worse at night. Maybe it's another good reason to get a great night's sleep by getting to bed early. Something I talk about with our morning routine, with our evening routine, with our automatic writing. We do our best work on our problems during the actual light of the day. So yes, you can bring up your problems before you go to sleep. I cannot recommend this because your mind will go ruminating on it while you sleep. Your subconscious doesn't sleep and it's going to be thinking about it and thinking about it and thinking about it. If you do bring it up at night, ask the angels and guides to take care of it for you and to work on it for you while you sleep. But do the majority of work on these, quote, negatives, on these painful feelings and experiences during the daytime. Everything seems better in the light of day, and the light of day can literally burn or melt away your problems. On that note, when we get into trouble, we tend to isolate ourselves. We tend to hibernate. It's an animal-like instinct that when we're wounded, we don't want to see anybody. We want to go hide in the cave. But when we're in the cage, that too, our mind starts ruminating, things start seeming larger and larger and larger still, and we blow things completely out of perspective. It's why I go to nature. It's why I will also get myself around others. So when you're in trouble, when you're in pain, don't wall yourself off. Yes, you can take a little time to lick your wounds, particularly if grief is involved, but then get yourself out with people you love and trust. Recruit assistance. Go to the pros. Go to a coach or go to your true friends. Who are your true friends? The ones who don't judge you so that you can get it out and gain perspective on what's really real. Go to automatic writing or an introspective journaling experience that has to do with tapping into your inner wisdom, your guides, your spirit, anything that is beyond the small self, so you can get outside of your bubble and see what truly is. When we're insulated, we tend to amplify. Not only do things seem worse, but it's exponential. We make one bad decision after the next, after the next. Einstein was right. You can't solve a problem from the same level of energy from which it was created. So get busy writing and get outside of your bubble, or gain assistance from those you love who won't judge you, or a pro or a coach, to get yourself out of the bubble. If you don't know what to do or where to begin, simply begin by looking, maybe seatbelt yourself first, looking over the edge of the cliff. Snuggle up with it, get comfortable with the discomfort, and observe it. without judgment, without any of the negative emotions we put on ourselves. I shoulda, I woulda, I coulda, if only I had. Just look at it, because it really is your greatest teacher. You'll be amazed by this very act alone, particularly without judgment, how it changes everything. Last, and then I'm going to open it up for questions. We'll have about half an hour for questions. Then I'm going to gently, kindly, slowly move my way toward Vale to go pick Jessica up. Give yourself love. Oh my God. Give yourself as much love as you can. There's nothing more valuable. There's nothing more important you can do, no matter what the challenge. If you fuel yourself with love, there's nothing you can't overcome. And if you can't get to love, or even get to liking yourself, or even to acceptance, if there's so much work that you get to do, this is good. It's a starting point. Again, no judgment there. Then begin with prayers. Now, you can call it God, source, universe, giant cheeseburger in the sky, Allah, Jehovah, whatever name you have, inner wisdom, inner guides, heart, whatever you want to call it. Pray to that. For myself, I would probably say, God, help me to be okay with myself, to be at more peace with myself, and to learn and remember how to love myself again. Thank you, God. Thank you, Source. Thank you, Universe. Start there with prayer. So with that said, I'm going to open it up to Jessica for questions. Last thing on housekeeping, again, a few, very few coaching spots left for the spring. So if you're interested in signing up for a free one-on-one strategy session with me, it's inspirenationshow.com/coaching. Jessica's going to put the link down. And we are 100% supported by you, our audience. So if you want to come support the show, come on over to inspirenationshow.com. Come on over to patreon.com, patreon.com/InspireNation. Again, it's patreon.com/InspireNation, and become a supporter, become a member of the Inspire Nation family. Thank you so much for your love and support. Okay, with that said, let's see where we go with questions. So I'm going to look in the chat box and see what Jessica comes up with here. And my phone is ringing from my editor during a show. All right, let's see. Diana, I'm trying to decide whether or not to sign another year contract in the place I am in. I would like to manifest a new, more affordable place. I have only 1 month to search. What would you suggest? That's a brilliant question, Diana. The first and most important thing I would do is search on the other side of the veil. What does that mean? I would begin this evening writing, painting, drawing, for me, I'm a writer, out exactly what you would like it to be. And if you don't know the exact, how would you like it to feel? Write that out tonight, write that out tomorrow morning, write it out each morning for the next month with all the emotion behind it that you can bring. The next question to ask is, what steps can I take forward? Is it contacting and telling others about it? Is it looking online? What is one step I can take each and every day toward my goal? So you write about it, that sets the intention, and you do it with emotion. That's for manifestation purposes. I call it throwing the biggest rock of intention into the pond of awareness. Switch that. Taking the biggest, we can say this again slowly. Taking the biggest stone of awareness and throwing it into the pond of intention. The ripples go outward. You start to see more, and things start to bubble up to the surface. So write it, put it out there, and then be open. So when Jessica and I were looking for a place last year to live in Aspen, and we live actually just outside of Aspen, we had to say, let us open up a little more and open up a little more and open up a little more and allow for the or something better. When we do manifestation work, we always end with for our highest good, the highest good of all, or something better. Allow universe the opportunity to bring you something even better than you possibly could have imagined. All right, let's take the next question here. So, Jessica, what would be the next question? And I imagine it's hard because she has to listen and she has to run the chat room. Jessica, what would be a next question? And stay tuned here. What do we have? Nicole, what would you recommend to help me overcome my fear of heights? You talk about snuggling up with the edge of a cliff. Yes, actually, Nicole, I am someone who used to be terrified of heights. And I do recommend that you snuggle up with it. First, you can snuggle up in visualizations. You don't actually need to go near it. Then my recommendation is get yourself to a kiddie ropes course where they buckle you in and where, excuse me, you couldn't fall even if you tried. And start playing with it. Start playing with it first, like where all you could do if you went off the edge is go down a foot. Then where all you could do if you go off the edge is 2 feet, then 3 feet, until you realize just how much that harness has your back. As you start to become more comfortable with it, the exaggerated sense of fear, really your ego trying to keep you safe, which is a good thing, starts to melt away. Your fear will be replaced with a healthy dose of respect. You still don't want to go up over that 1,000-foot cliff and really lean over the edge unless you actually do have a harness. But you can play with this and you can learn what is my mind scaring me versus what is the reality. So play with it with that harness on. Somebody here is mentioning skydiving. That's another way to go. I love it, love it, love it, Brent. All right, what do we have next? So Jessica, and yes, Brent, we would love to go skydiving in Victoria. What would be a next question? And stay tuned here. Tina, I have a hard time forgiving myself, even small things. I know it in my head, but not in my heart. The bad feeling stays. Any suggestions? Bina, that it's a coping mechanism to protect yourself. If you stop, how do we put this? If you attack yourself first, then nobody else can attack you. So you keep yourself safe by picking on yourself and keeping yourself small. Unfortunately, nothing could be further from the truth. The answer lies, and the antidote to the wound is loving yourself up till it hurts. This is leading into things. And then loving yourself up some more. I would lean into it. I would take each event on its own and say, I can't forgive myself for doing X, Y, or Z. And really look at it and lean into it and scrutinize it and say, so I have a friend years ago who passed away. She took her own life. And she taught me a very, very valuable lesson about life in sacrificing her own, which is if you focus on the negative, if you believe that you're broken, there's something wrong with you, or that you don't deserve to be forgiven, then ultimately at the end of the day, there's no point and you check out. The reverse is true too, though. If you realize we are all of us, all of us. And I mean, even the person that you loathe the most, which on some level is ourselves, but a political figure, a war figure, a criminal, even that person is one of the infinite number of disguises of a spiritual being having a human existence. And you realize that this is a school, and what you are doing, it's not pass fail, is you're learning from the experiences. You can't go back, you can only go forward. That everything you do, everything, Bina, is an opportunity to evolve. It's pretty cool. How do we evolve? Love ourselves up like there's no tomorrow. Be expansive. Be heart opened. Be like a, holy crap, I can't believe I did X, Y, or Z. Now, I can try to help people if I hurt them, but all I can do is move forward. I'm a spiritual being having a human existence. How much can I do to lean into that spiritual side, to lean into the love? Use it as positive fuel, Bina. Now, when I started this, many people have heard this, and I went to self-love as someone who had self-loathing and thought, the expression was, I deserve to die, I don't deserve to live. I am a blobbity, blumbity, blobbity, blankety, blankety, blankety. I had a lot of work to do, Bina. That was gifted me by my family, by my, by my teachers, by my peers, of why I didn't deserve to be here. And when I first went to self-love, I flipped out in a rage. I smashed a bathroom mirror to pieces. I smashed a kitchen to pieces. I was so angry with myself. So what I did is I had to sneak in the back door and start very, very slowly. Tiny little touch. I love myself. Ooh, let's get away from that. I love myself. I'll get away from myself. And then start to go to, I love myself. Okay, I'm all right. I'm not sure I believe it, but I love myself a little more. I love myself a little more until, oh my God, I really do love myself. Not from an ego, I'm the greatest. Although, Bina, you are the greatest. And all of us are the greatest. We are all spirit in human form. We are all one. We are all wearing a costume, a veil, a mask. We are on the other side of the curtain, playing a role to learn and grow and evolve. But we all came from love, all of us. We all are love. We all couldn't be anything other than love, no matter how much we try. So, torturing ourselves, punishing ourselves, hurting ourselves has never worked to date. And if you can point out when torturing yourself has actually worked, let me know. Because there are long-term karmic repercussions of hurting ourselves. But if instead we can gradually make that turn to loving ourselves up and loving everyone around us, wow, 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 does it change everything. You can do this, Bina. I know you can. And I want to be the first. If you're not feeling it on the inside, let me send you all the love in the world I can. Bina, I love you. I love you. I love you. And you are love, and you are perfect in your imperfections. And let me tell you, and Jessica can tell you in the chat room, I have lots and lots of imperfections, but you are perfect just as you are in your perfectly imperfect way, and you can only get better from here. This is your evolution, and everything that took place was your story to help you to grow and evolve. I can see Jessica in the chat room right now saying, yes, he does. Yes, I do have lots of perfections. Beware the guru. First off, beware anybody who calls himself a guru, but beware the guru who says they're perfect. Run and run fast. All right. Next question. Next question, Jessica. Amanda, are there any meditations you can suggest with getting over narcissistic parents and trauma from childhood? Amanda, there are lots and lots of meditations, and it's something that it really is good to work with a coach or someone to help you catch the negative patterns. So I'm going to give you one that's really, 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 it's going to seem too simple. It isn't. It's the opposite. Many people have heard me say this before. It is my absolute favorite prayer for healing relationships and healing relationship wounds. It's Ho'oponopono. Jessica may attempt to write it down. Maybe I will try. Ho, oh, ho, no, ho, no. Yes. Hawaiian healing prayer. It has 4 lines. You can repeat it to yourself over and over again. I believe my coin, hold on here. You can take your coin of awareness, and you take this coin and you imagine it's your parents, and you drop it in. I think there's a game called Plinko. You drop it in right here, right down into your heart. That's your parents. You're dropping that coin of awareness down into your heart. And now you are going to forget about them, because we are all one. We are all one. And you're going to say these 4 lines over and over and over again. Brent has beat me to it. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. I love you. Thank you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. I love you. Thank you. You're not saying I'm sorry to your parents. You're not saying please forgive me to your parents. You're not saying I love you to your parents. You're not saying thank you to your parents. It's all to you and for you and through you. And as you begin to heal yourself, you begin to heal your relationship around what took place in the past so that you can move forward. This is also an awesome opportunity to Amanda to lay down, surround yourself in a bubble of love and light. See yourself. Hold your inner child, Amanda. See yourself at the earliest age you can. Cradle yourself. See yourself as a baby in your arms. And in this golden light, love yourself up like there's no tomorrow. Let little Amanda know you've got her back. Let little Amanda know she's going to be okay. Let little Amanda know you love her absolutely unconditionally, no matter what. See that love and light surround you as you're breathing in, as you're breathing out, and you just rock her back and forth and tell her how much you love her and tell her how much you'll be there for her. This would be a beautiful, beautiful place to start. All right, let's see what a next question is. Jessica, what would be, and you're most welcome, a next question? And Brent, you rock tonight, and I want to see that t-shirt sometime, the Ho'oponopono t-shirt. All right, next question would be, no more questions. Wow. Well, we could actually finish early so that I can pick up Jessica in Vail, or let me see if Jessica, do you have any questions or things that you would like me to discuss tonight before I go to pick you up? When am I going to pick you up? Well, if we do the math and obey the normal laws of physics. So, Brent, everybody here can have a cyber hug. We are all love. Oh my God, if I could get this one point across. When you see that person in line who disturbs you, when you hear that person in the news who disturbs you, when they teach you in the news who you're supposed to be scared about, who you're supposed to hate, who is that vile person, whatever that means. Love that person up. They are all infinite disguises of yourself. Love them up like there's no tomorrow. And if you go, what, is that person insane? Realize that they have their childhood wounds just as you do. When that person cuts you off, cuts you off on the highway, cuts you off in the skiing line, send them love too. I can't help laughing because I see Jessica on the side. She goes, did you feed the cats yet? Yes. Did you clean the kitty litter? Not since this morning. Will I clean the litter before I go out? And you don't even have this one down. Did I take the mice, what I call the little explorers who found their way under the garage door and into the garage this morning? Did I repatriate them out in nature today? Yes, 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 I did. All right, let's see if we have one or two more questions or comments. Usually I will fill this space, but I have mutually opposed intentions here, which is if this ends shortly, I pick Jessica up. So more quickly. So if you have a question, if you have something on your mind, there is no such thing as a silly question. Please put it down now. Or, gosh, this sounds like a threat. I don't mean it as that. But we will be ending shortly so I can go rescue Jessica from Vale. Isn't that funny? Rescue her from paradise. Jessica, do you have any more? Jessica, do you have any more questions or comments? What are our cats' names? She's enjoying time with the family, no rush. Yes, but if I don't pick you up shortly, then I don't get back here till midnight, which would make it difficult for me to do my morning routine that I teach everybody about. Okay, so a few last things here. Where did I want to go? Cats' names. We have Lumiere, who is the light, and he came to us at a meditation center. Before we meditated one morning, he came out of the woods, so to speak, screaming for us. And then we have the love bug, who is a reincarnate kitty cat, which is a whole story unto itself. And we have Sir Meowsers, who is really, I think he has been upgraded to King Meowsers, though we haven't called him that very often because we don't want it to go to his head. But he has certainly been knighted because he looks after all of us. So let's see, there was one thing that I wanted to share with people. Yes. When I finish a coaching session with people, and either we're not going to meet for another week, or they're going off on vacation, or they've got some big event coming up. I did it with Jessica as she went off to Vale. I always ask them the same question. What is your intention for this time period, for this activity, for this week ahead? And I want to challenge you too, because really what I'm talking about is helping you to wake up to your greatest self, wake up to stepping into your power, wake up to realizing you are a divine, infinite being having a human existence. Yes, you're still in the muck and mire. Yes, the emotions feel real and the pain is real to a certain extent. But it's all part of the story because we are infinite, divine beings, infinite. We are the galaxy. We are the universe. We are infinite, divine beings having a human experience. We have to forget about that to a certain extent so that we can go through these challenges, so that we can learn and evolve and grow. You wouldn't enjoy a movie very much if you remembered each second of the movie, oh, the actor is doing this, the actor is doing that, the director is telling him this, the director is doing that. Instead, you have to suspend your disbelief. We are in an earth school. We have to suspend our understanding that we are divine beings having a human existence, and instead get collective amnesia and fall down into the muck and mire where we get worried, where we get afraid, where we get concerned, so that we can work our way through it. It's the Joseph Campbell hero's journey. So we can have our own arc. We can have our own growth experience so that we can each evolve and bring it back to the collective, so that universe, source, God, spirit, whatever we want to call it, whatever we are a small piece of, or a rose on a giant rose bush, so that we can all evolve. So set your intention for this week. Live your week fully alive and embody the power that is you. What do you want to see take place? What do you want to experience? How do you want to live this week? Last week was a crazy week for us. I said my week was about relaxing. My intention for the week was all about relaxing. My week for this week is about cleanup and systems. How can I get some more order into things? Which is funny because, as Jessica was saying, have you done this with the cats? Have you done that with the cats? Have you done the other thing? Meaning, rest assured, when she comes home, the home will be in a little bit less order than she left it. But I've been tinkering with videos, trying to make some shorter videos, working with my editor on this, trying to come up with top 3 videos and highlights from Dr. Joe Dispenza interviews and from other things, really cool systems and putting in place cleanup work to make things even cooler for you. So that's the focus of my week, of waking up to the possibilities of my week. If you are to live this week fully awake, aware, and alive, what are your intentions for this week ahead? And don't just think about them. Write them down tonight, write them down tomorrow morning, and each and every morning over the week ahead. So now I'm going to see if there's one last question, then I am going to wrap things up, get tonight's show live for everybody, get notes to my editor, and then I am going to head out to pick up the love of my life and truly, truly, truly my hero. With that said, go over to inspirenationshow.com/coaching. If you want to sign up for, we have very limited spots left, a free one-on-one coaching session with me to see if coaching is right for you. And please, please, please come support the show. It's Patreon, patreon.com/InspireNation. Become a member of the Inspire Nation family. Get your backstage pass, which gives you lots of access and info to us. Most importantly, help support the show so that we can keep going and growing strong for you. I love everyone. Thank you, thank you, thank you for being here. Jessica's got a last question of the evening from Claire. What if you feel sad and tired and sensitive and lonely most of the time? How do you get over this sensitivity, sadness, and loneliness? One piece at a time, Claire. The first thing that I would do is let's recharge the batteries. That probably means more quality sleep. I say that because you're probably exhausted and sleep a lot. I'd like to get you to bed much, much, much earlier, like 8, 9 o'clock at the latest, so that your body can go into some deep REM cycles and start to clear stuff out. Even if you can't fall asleep in the beginning, hang out in bed. I'm just going to be here with myself and allow your body clock to reset. Next, find something that you like, love, or liked to do, preferably a creative outlet, and start doing it again. Painting, drawing, dancing, singing, anything with an ing attached to it, no matter what it is, without judgment. Get back to a creative element that is plugging you into source, into inspiration, into the divine. Next, get the body moving again. Oftentimes we feel our worst when we have stuck energy. Get walking, get running, get to the gym, lift some weights, do something on a regular basis each and every day, methodically, like clockwork, so you don't have to think about it. Alarm goes off, throw yourself to the gym. Alarm goes off, kick yourself outside. And last, fuel yourself with goodness. How much, I don't suggest to everybody, I never try to tell everybody what kind of diet, but how much of a nutritious plant-based diet can you get yourself on? How much can you overdose, put that in quotes, on nutrition? Getting greens, getting smoothies, getting fruit, getting as many colors of the rainbow as you can to raise your energy up. And last, and then I'm off to pick up Jessica, which is surround yourself with as much positive energy as you can. That means the music that you listen to, the people you can surround yourself with, what you put on your walls, how you decorate your home, and by God, get that news off. You can certainly brainwash yourself with positive shows like this, but the news, which I look at the NE as negative, I haven't figured out an exact acronym for it. I'm going to have to come up with that. But it is negative news. I wish it was positive news. It is designed to bring you down and disempower you. Go to the positives. Look for positive stories. Look for uplifting and raise your vibration to the max. All right, that is it for here. And Brent, yes, I am vegan, somewhat raw. I don't label myself. I love everybody. I love everybody no matter what you eat. I did go raw for several years on Maui. It spun me into the hills, and I can't imagine doing it in the colder climate. But whatever works for you. No rules, no judgment, just love. If you love yourself up like there's no tomorrow, you can't help but love somebody up next to you who's going to love somebody up next to you who's going to lift somebody up next to you. If you love yourself like there's no tomorrow, you can't help but making better decisions to take care of your home, to take care of your what do we call it? I want to say homestead. To take care of your land, to take care of your environment, to take care of your neighborhood, to take better care of your planet. When you start to do the work on the inside, you change the entire world. I love you guys so much. Thank you so much for joining me here this evening. Thank you so much, Jessica, for running everything. You are my love. You are my hero. You are my light. And thank you for running the chat room here this evening. Everybody, I wish you the most beautiful, beautiful evening ahead. I will see you same time, same place next Tuesday. Always feel free to write us in with your comments, with your questions, with who you would like to see on the show and what you would like more of. Our job is to help raise your vibration, elevate consciousness, and shift humanity to the new level by helping you to shine bright. We love you guys. Be well. Namaste.